Tonight, you will witness incredible experiences that everyday people like you or me lived when they faced or witnessed situations that at first glance were completely unnatural. Testimonies that were captured in impressive footage that today you will have the opportunity to know if you are brave enough. Do you dare? My name is Leonore Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present 7 scary ghosts that will creep you out. Number 7. We start this video with the disturbing occurrence of a couple who had as a protagonist their most sacred treasure in the world, their young son. They had spent a pleasant afternoon in an amusement park. When they were preparing to leave, their little boy asked them to get on one last ride, to which his parents agreed. The father was recording his little one when the camera captured something extremely chilling. Watch. They swear that their son was always alone and that no one else sat next to him. So to this day, they cannot explain who is the one that appears to be accompanying him. How is it possible that with the ride in motion, a child moves to the seat? Take a look at the leg section. There is no one hidden there. When watching it closely, no cuts are detected in the sequence. There's nothing to induce a possible fabrication. Definitely something was present with the minor that night. An extremely disturbing video that reminds me of our previous video of the roller coaster boy. Is it possible that it is a child who died in this park, since almost always fatalities are common in this type of place? A recording that for me is real evidence of the paranormal. Number 6. The following corresponds to a case that is affecting one of our subscribers, who in his own words says that he is desperate about what he's going through in his own home. In his email, he asks that we not reveal his identity, but what he does show us is his disturbing situation that began with the clip that you will see below. Pay attention and tell me, what is the strange thing that is observed here?
Con eso que ya me he comido bastante. Con papa, pollo, todo. Y cola, mira. El viejito.
Can you see it? He says that he shared this video with his partner while she was at work. It was her who asked about that face you see in the back. Do you notice it? This would be the beginning of a true nightmare. As the days passed, an unexplained phenomena began to become more frequent. He heard noises in his house, but much more than the simple creaking of wood. He thought he saw shadows out of the corner of his eye. Suspicious things that made him think he was being stalked by a spirit, but tried to ignore. That was until this recording.
Aquí van a comer como reyes y reinas. Y no nos invitaron. Me pregunto por qué no nos invitaron. Son demasiado buenos para nosotros. Disfruta la comida, chicos. Disfrutando la comida. Y por mucho que quieran arruinarla, no lo van a conseguir. Y tú tampoco, ¿no, señor? Tampoco tú. No. ¿Te gustan los caballos? A Don le gustan. ¿No es cierto, Don? Estamos conmigo. No, ya no, también. Yo también lo sé. En Francia, llegamos a la playa justo después del día griego. Y tuvimos que luchar con todos esos setos. Un dolor de cabeza.
In his email, he confesses that he does not know what to do, and that for the same reason, he asked us for help. When I receive situations of this type, the first thing I suggest is that you simply ignore it and do not interact with it. Many times, entities arrive with the purpose to annoy, but by ignoring them, they simply disappear in search of other homes. But if this does not happen, definitely other more drastic measures should be taken. For example, calling experts who know the subject in order to ensure that this entity of unknown origin finally leaves the house. What would you do if something like this happened to you? Number 5. For some time now, El Router has been attracting attention on social networks. A young man who on his TikTok account has been publishing what seems to be, and as incredible as it sounds, an interdimensional portal that overnight appeared in one of the bathrooms in his home. Have you ever seen anything similar? Initially, skepticism took hold of those curious and began to follow the recordings he was publishing. However, each of the questions was clarified. For example, the first thing that was said was that this was a trick. This was what this user posted. other questions said that the light came from the next room, or that it was the sunlight that seeped from the roof. These were the answers of this young man.
Ok, ahí está la grieta. Esto es para los que quieren ver por atrás. Ahí está la grieta. Entonces voy a poner mi mano aquí para que vean que no hay ningún corte. Ahí está la grieta. Esto es el baño. Aquí está la puerta del baño. ¿Sí? Aquí está mi mano. Y aquí se hace un muro, que es este, que divide la cocina del baño. Aquí lo pueden ver. Entonces está este muro, pero no es tabla roca. Entonces si nos venimos, aquí está la cocina y no hay nada atrás. No hay grietas. Bueno, ahí está mi mano para que no hay ninguna grieta. Esos son clavos, pero en sí una grieta por donde puede entrar la luz, pues no la hay. Y debería de estar por ahí y no hay nada.
Effectively, so far, there is no evidence of any fraud or possible setup. Is it some kind of radioactive material? Or do you really think it's a portal to another dimension? Tell me, what do you think? Number 4. From Buenos Aires, Argentina, Laura Llanos, a faithful subscriber of the channel, wrote to my email to tell me about a strange situation that she captured on camera while on the second floor of her house. She focused on the other side of the street. She comments that in front of her house there's a vacant lot where beggars have chosen to live. That night, she focused her lens on this place when suddenly there was a strange manifestation that she described as absolutely paranormal. What did she record? Observe. Laura says that this recording was captured just 5 days after the companion of the beggar in the yellow jacket you see in the image died, in which smoke can be seen that clearly presents quite an abnormal reaction, especially when you look at the action of the smoke that can be clearly seen. This small humanoid form appears to be static smoke, not flowing like the one right next to it. Don't you think? Our subscriber suggests that the most probable and difficult to believe could be the spectral presence of that deceased man who for years was with his friend living there. Is it really the ghost of that beggar that Laura captured on her camera? Tell me what you think. Number 3. It has always been said that the night clerks in hotels or residential buildings are the ones who have been most exposed to experiencing paranormal phenomena. And it is that their work, which they carry out at night, and often in complete solitude, makes them more perceptive in situations that are almost impossible to see during the day. But if we added an audio-visual verification before an experience of this type, a story is almost impossible to deny. And some of it lies in the following footage that you will see next, and that has as its protagonist the man you see on the screen. I'll let him explain what he experienced that day.
Hola, me filmo para dar constancia de esto porque está pasando algo muy loco, muy loco. Yo hace años que trabajo de noche, nunca vi algo como esto. Estoy todos los días sentado ahí, 12 horas. Esto es muy loco. Miren, no se ve nada. No se ve nada. Lo que yo veo ahora, la puta madre, es algo muy fuerte, nunca pasó. Estoy asustado, pero posta. ¿La ven? ¿Llegan a ver? Hay una mujer en la puerta del edificio. Una mujer al lado del portero eléctrico. Esto hay... ¿Lo ven? Acerquemos. Hay una mujer al lado del portero eléctrico. Son las 2:30 de la mañana. Esa imagen nunca apareció. Nunca. Estoy todos los días cada 12 horas. Eso nunca apareció en la vida. Ni temprano. Apareció recién. Y no se mueve. Ahora, vamos a ver. No hay nada. Ven ahí. No hay nada. No hay nada. Pero cuando yo veo las cámaras, me aparece la mujer por las cámaras. ¿La ven? Una locura. La primera vez en la vida que me aparece esa mujer. Y no son efectos de luces. Uno puede decir, bueno, es el contraste de la luz con el vidrio y la chota. Pero no sé qué pasa, que esto nunca apareció. Nunca. La primera vez que me aparece. Estoy acostumbrado a trabajar de noche. Trabajo hace años de noche, pero nunca me apareció algo así.
As you can see, he practically became the narrator of his own paranormal experience, where his cell phone camera clearly does not detect anything abnormal, which is obviously contrary to what appears on the security cameras. The boy comes and goes, constantly showing that there is no trick in what happens at the entrance of the venue. The figure of a woman who was standing there in front of the electronic receiver that neither his eyes nor his camera can see. In the comments of this video, some say that it is nothing more than the reflection of what exists behind the glass. a simple optical effect. But what he sees as a ghost is only part of the torso, since that arm seems to be seen there is in fact from the gutter outside. However, note the area of the head, chest, and shoulder. Will this still be part of a reflection? Tell me what you think. Number 2. The following situation corresponds to a strange event captured in photographs by a young Mexican man, together with his girlfriend in the midst of heavy rain, and at night they went out for a ride in the vehicle they had recently purchased. At one point, he stops and gets out to buy at a store that was on the side of the road. At this point, he takes a picture of his car to post it on his Snapchat account. Only minutes later, the photograph was filled with comments from his audience, stating that there was someone else in the vehicle apart from his girlfriend. This is the image. A disturbing face, that being in the back seat, looked out in amazement at those who had seen the image up to that moment. But it wasn't the only thing. Just hours later, the young man would publish a second photograph of that day, a photograph that shocked everyone. He says that he did not run into any obstacle on the way, and that, in his own words, without explanation, the tire had burst as if they had put an explosive in it. Fortunately, both came out of the incident unharmed. But seeing the image, they think that being had something to do with this accident they suffered. Without a doubt, a night they will never forget. Number 1. We conclude this video with the disturbing footage published by J Horror Story, an Asian YouTube channel whose theme is 100% focused on terror. Many really creepy footage has been published on this account. Many of you have even been the ones who have sent them to my email. But almost none of the videos, not even close, could be classified as real. Although in taking a quick tour of its content, it is worth rescuing a strange recording that until now has not been denied by its audience, but perhaps by ours. You see, one night a man inside his home woke up after hearing how utensils were thrown with force against a wall in the kitchen. Cautiously he began to advance until he reached the kitchen, which was in complete disarray. So he quickly took out his cell phone and began to record what you will see next. Can you see it? Evidently, due to that emaciated appearance, it is very unlikely that the face that appears in the image corresponds to that of a person. In addition, in subsequent statements, the same man said that that place is not very deep, which makes it even more difficult for a person's body to fit in. Are we in the presence of a ghostly entity that is trying to take over this place? Let me know your opinions in the comment box. Because this video has come to an end. My name is Leonore Clay, and this was the darkest secret